Is there a plot twist in the Northwestern story? And can the Oklahoma Sooners challenge and win the Big 12 championship in 2023, their last year in the conference? Welcome to episode 263 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Let's not waste any more time. But before we get to the two stories that we're going through here in episode 263, here is the Conference Media Days schedule coming up in the month of July. We're going to be covering all these Conference Media Days, doing a story, at least one story, in each of these Conference Media Days. Starting with this Wednesday, Big 12, July 12th to the 13th, Media Days for the Big 12 Conference. SEC is July 17th and the 20th. You got in the Mountain West Conference, July 19th to 20th, Mid-American, July 20th. You've got the ACC, the Big Ten, late in July 25, 27 for the ACC, and the Big Ten is July 26th and the 27th. The Sun Belt is July 25th and the 26th. Oh, yes, and of course, I almost forgot, the Pac-12 Conference Media Days is July 21st. It's going to be high drama around the Pac-12 Media Day, and we're going to be covering everything here at Peek Around the Corner. So stick with us, hang with us as we cover those Conference Media Days. Let's start out with this breaking news late last night. Adam Rittenberg in ESPN. We just cut out the part, I think it was like the 8th paragraph in the article. We're just going to read this part, a plot twist. If you haven't been caught up on the Northwestern saga, the allegations of possible sexual assault, go to our live show the last 2 nights. We've been covering this story. This broke last night. Rittenberg, ESPN. A current Northwestern player who asked to remain anonymous also told ESPN on Sunday that the former player, whose hazing allegations late in 2022 launched the investigation, informed him of a detailed plan with the sole objective to take down Fitzgerald. The current player on Sunday relayed a conversation related to ESPN, relayed a conversation he said he had early this year with the former player to Northwestern trustees and other influential university figures. He just kept emphasizing, yeah, it'll be okay. I'm just trying to get Coach Fitz fired, the current player told ESPN. I don't think he ever acknowledged that he's saying it's not true. It was just like, I might embellish or exaggerate to get Coach Fitz fired. He said his sole goal was to see Coach Fitz rot in jail. The truth is, none of that stuff happened in our locker room. This is a current Northwestern football player. Current Northwestern football player who just gave this information to ESPN, and they put it out late last night. So there is some pushback by the Northwestern football players, some current ones. Remember, the whole Northwestern football team signed a letter that said the entire team says this is exaggerated. This, you're twisting it. Whoever the anonymous player is that came forward and had these serious allegations. And by the way, there was another football player a former football player who confirmed the allegations that this stuff was going on in the Northwestern locker room and at Kenosha camp. Where does the truth lie? We don't know at Peek Around the Corner if the allegations are true, if even some of it's true. Pat Fitzgerald should lose his job. But is this a plot twist in the story? Was this all made up? Was this extremely exaggerated by the former football player who put these allegations forward? And what about the screenshots that ESPN received of the player who are alleging these horrific details of sexual harassment, sexual assault in the Northwestern football program? The screenshots of the whiteboard that demonstrated a plot, demonstrated names listed who are going to be ran within the Northwestern football player. In other words, these certain football players supposedly made mistakes in practice or during a game, and now that they're going to have to do some things that we're not going to go through the details here at Peek Around the Corner. We did it in our last live show. Horrific details of potential possible sexual assault. We don't know where the truth lies, but we have to be fair to the story. We go where the story goes. Supposedly, a football player, a current football player said, the anonymous football player, the former one who alleged all these crimes, alleged what was going on in the Northwestern football program, he plotted it from the very beginning. He wanted to see Coach Fitz rot in jail. He wanted to get him fired. Wow. Where does the story go? We don't know, but we're going to follow it here at Peek Around the Corner, no matter how distasteful the whole thing is. Now, let's get to the Oklahoma Sooners. Here's an article written by Max Olson. This morning, we're not going to go through the whole thing. It's a great article, a long article. We provide a link in the description. Read the whole thing. We're just going to go through some of the major points of the article. Can Oklahoma's rapid roster flip return the Sooners to national prominence? Now, everybody's talking about, including us, the incredible, aggressive roster flip that the Colorado Buffaloes under Deion Sanders just did. Oklahoma, man, not quite at Colorado's level, but wow, Brent Venables, very aggressive. Let's get to the article. Norman, Oklahoma, Brent Venables stepped into Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue on Wednesday night in June and was greeted with applause from the Oklahoma fans dining on brisket, sausage, and ribs. The Sooners' first SEC schedule had just been revealed. Nick Saban and Alabama are coming to town in 2024. So are Tennessee and South Carolina. Oklahoma will visit LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn, Missouri. The head coach brought nothing but enthusiasm to the watch party inside the restaurant, urging fans to call the ticket office right away. But you know what? That's in 2024. What about 2023, this season? The last season, the Oklahoma Sooners were playing the Big 12. Last year, Oklahoma went 6-7 under Brent Venables' first year as the head coach. I don't think he can survive another 6-7 season. We really feel that we're a better football team in so many ways, in really every way, than what we were a year ago at this time, Venables said. We've improved our roster. We've continued to build on our culture, and our guys have a clear understanding of what the expectations are from a work ethic and commitment standpoint. And then he upped the ante. If we just get better on defense, we're going to win 10-plus games and have a chance to compete and hang a banner up at the end of the year. Brent Venables thinks that Oklahoma can challenge and possibly win the Big 12 championship in 2023. What do you think? Put down your comments and thoughts in the comment section below the video. I will give you my thoughts at the end of this article. This Oklahoma staff has executed a remarkably fast roster flip at a place that should have needed one. In Venables' first 18 months on the job, the Sooners signed more than 80 new scholarship players. 18 months, 80 new scholarship players. Holy smokes. They're already down to just 21 scholarship players who are on the roster for Lincoln Riley's final season in 2021. Thanks to a strong transfer portal haul this offseason, there's better competition at every position entering the 2023 season. And this article does a great job at detailing all the players, especially on the defensive side of the ball, all the players that Oklahoma Sooners were able to get in the transfer portal. Please read the whole article in the link provided. Venables is clearly optimistic about this transformation. He believes his staff has constructed a more physical and efficient team on both sides of the ball. He's putting faith in a lot of new faces. Whether the Sooners have enough to win the SEC is a question for another day. That's for 2024, 2025. We're talking about this season, here, right now, 2023. For now, it's a matter of distancing themselves from a 6 and 7 as fast as possible. Can all of the newly acquired talent help fuel a dramatic turnaround that leads to one more Big 12 trophy? Venables does not want recruiting to be a 50-50 proposition between high school prospects and transfers. That's not the way to win championships at Oklahoma, and the head coach still views the portal as anti-development, but the Sooners had to get better quickly. Venables is looking for blue-collar dudes when hunting for the portal players, experienced leaders, team-oriented thinkers, and humble and selfless hard workers who love the game. He paints a clear picture during the recruitment of how challenging it will be inside his program. He needs to get guys who are all in to get this right, and he thinks he has found quite a few. And finally, what we're covering in this article, the money shot, the PATC money shot. We were 6 and 7 last year, Venables said this spring, but everybody 6 and 7 ain't the same. Here's one way to size it up. The Sooners never trailed in their 6 wins and never held the lead in 3 of their 7 losses. The difference then between going 6 and 7 and 10 and 3 mostly comes down to close games in November. The veteran teams that play for the Big 12 titles find a way to survive those games. In year 1, Venables' crew couldn't get it done. Can they get it done here in 2023? What do you think? Can Oklahoma, can they climb over some teams that we believe at PATC are ahead of them for this season? The Texas Tech Red Raiders, Kansas State, the defending reigning Big 12 champions. And TCU, they're not going to lay down for anybody. Chandler Morris, big time promise, quarterback QB number 1 for the TCU Horned Frogs. And of course, Texas is back. Well, that's what we believe at PATC. Quinn Xavier Worthy, a defense that's starting to tackle. Sarkisian's finally going to get his breakthrough season as a head coach of a Power 5 football program. I think it happens in 2023. So, can Oklahoma? Can they be improved on their 6 and 7 season last year? Can they distance themselves somewhat from last year? We believe marginally Oklahoma will be better. We got to see it on defense. We got to see it on defense to start believing the Sooners are back themselves. Oklahoma finishing 5th or 6th in the Big 12 would not surprise us. It would surprise us if Oklahoma challenged for the Big 12 championship in their last season as a member of the Big 12 Conference. Until next time, from all of us at PATC to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.